You're listening to the Experiencing God Day by Day podcast, brought to you by Blackaby Ministries International.
May 4th, God brings you to himself. Exodus 19, verse 4. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to me. God did not deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt so that they could enjoy the promised land. He freed them from their bondage so they could come to know and worship him. 3 months after they left Egypt, God reminded his people why he had delivered them on eagle's wings. It was to bring the people to himself. That is, God saved them so that they could enjoy intimate fellowship with him. The Israelites had been slaves with no freedom to worship God. Now, with their own land, they could come to know and serve God freely. God's call was not to destroy the idolatrous nations in Canaan, not to settle the lands they conquered, and not to establish a new nation, although all these would be accomplished. Rather, God called them primarily to be a people who loved and worshiped him. Through God's act of deliverance, they came to know him as an almighty and compassionate God, and they were now free to respond to him. We are so activity-oriented that we assume we were saved for a task we are to perform rather than for a relationship to enjoy. God uses our activities and circumstances to bring us to himself. When he gives us a God-sized assignment, its sheer impossibility brings us back to him for his enabling. When God allows us to go through crises, it brings us closer to him. If we are not careful, we can inadvertently bypass the relationship in order to get on with the activity. When you are busy in your activity for God, remember that God leads you to the experiences in order to bring you to himself.
This podcast is based on the book Experiencing God Day by Day by Henry and Richard Blackaby, published by B&H Publishing Group, music by Mark Brown.